Welcome to the Weekly Social. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Today we have Bernard Estrada.
That's great.
With Estrada Remodeling. So thank you for coming out this morning.
Thank you for having me, Richard. It's a pleasure being here. So thank
awesome.
You for the opportunity.
No, you're welcome. We also have Denise Tomasini, which everybody's seen Denise.
Yes,
it's been a little while. She's back. Hooray!
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah.
So, well, thanks for coming out. Bernard, tell us a little bit about your company and what you do.
Well, I established this company about 8 years ago. I decided to get into the remodeling industry. We had a hurricane around that time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've had a few.
Yes, we've had, and growing up, I kind of was involved with remodeling, so it's just something that I had a niche for.
Okay.
So, I ended up getting into the finance end of business. I have a background with finance, so
okay.
I did that for about 15 years, and then I decided that I wanted to get back into
you found your path.
Exactly, and it all kind of boils down to just customer service and just helping people get their needs met.
Sure. So what area do you work in? Katy, Fulshear,
Richmond? I actually work all over Houston.
Okay.
I tend to stay more so in the north, west, and southwest. So that's kind of more of my backyard.
Is that Cypress area?
Yes. Anything that has to do with Spring, Woodlands, Atascocita, all the way down to Richmond, Fort Bend.
Oh wow.
Katy,
yes,
Katy,
absolutely. So I just kind of stay from downtown. On this side of the woods.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm in Spring Branch, so.
You're right around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm at I-10 and Park 10, so I'm right around the corner. I'm 10 minutes from Spring Branch is a great area.
Well, it is now.
Yeah,
it's revitalized.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they're tearing down, right?
And they're paying big money for the teardowns.
Absolutely.
Or remodeling, yes.
Well, like I said, there's an adult mind there.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing a lot of townhomes being built there in that area.
Yeah.
And then they have huge lots. So, and then you see families that would need your help to buy the home to remodel it.
Absolutely. And you understand that, Richard, right? When you're obviously you're in that business, where you sell homes and, there's presentation has to do a lot with your home, right? When you're trying to.
Curb appeal.
Yes, absolutely. Just the landscape and, people that got restrooms, that's important because that's kind of what they get up in the morning and,
Move-in ready.
Exactly.
Kitchens and bathrooms are probably the two most important in my opinion. What's your thoughts, Denise?
No, I agree. I think
yes.
the same thing.
I think that everybody spends a lot of time in the restroom.
The first thing you see when you go into a home, I notice at open houses, people walk in, they look at the kitchen, and then what do? They go straight to the master bathroom, typically, and then they look at the rest of the house. Is what I notice when I'm doing open houses with Richard. That mindset.
Exactly.
And the cabinets, the pantries, things like that. How big is it? And then all the amenities that you've done. Now the big islands are really popular.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Is that your new kitchen table?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody gathers in the kitchen when they have when they entertain and have family over.
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of time in there with a lot of people.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely right. And what I've also noticed is a lot of people, kind of pay attention to detail, obviously, after things are kind of done correctly. So that's very important, to me, being not perfect, but close to perfect.
That's awesome. You care.
Exactly.
There's pride in your
Exactly.
workmanship.
My image is the most important thing, and like I said, I was raised to, a handshake and do what you say kind of type of, person. So.
Well, your postcard says a lot because not only did you hand me I asked for a business card and I had a postcard that was a nice size, really quality paper, all the color print, which says a lot about
High level.
You care, high level, high quality. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, let's show that to the people out there.
Yeah, let me go grab it. Let me go grab it real quick. Y'all talk for a second. Oh, right here. I've got one right here.
yes.
Yeah. So here's the, I don't know if you guys can see the picture, but here's the postcard, and then here's the back of the postcard.
And what's the special that you're offering right now, Bernard?
I'm actually, I'm doing $500 off, you know, restroom updates, or anything that has to do with flooring updates.
Okay. That's a
like I said,
considerable savings.
I specialize in quite a bit, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, if there's something that I can't, you know what I mean, handle, then I'll just kind of try to point you in the right direction and say, you know what I mean, I got somebody that might be able to help you with
So you
this.
can refer somebody that's high-level service.
Absolutely, you know what I mean? So if somebody's having an AC problem or whatnot, you know what I mean, then, you know, I try to find the right person for them, or, you know, obviously we're in network.
Sure.
We have friends in that industry.
There's an army of people that help me do everything I do. I mean, Denise, I mean, she's part of that army. Without her, I couldn't do what I do.
Same thing. I mean, it takes all of us working
Yes.
together.
Exactly.
And everybody wants to remodel. Everybody wants to upgrade. You know, within, I don't know, our house is 31 years old. It's time for us to upgrade. And we've upgraded our house twice since we've owned it.
Okay.
And now it's time to do it.
I would say it's 10-year cycles is what I see. Something runs for about 10 years, and then they move on to the next trend.
Pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, it's like how popular wood tile was, you know what I mean? The wood tile look, you know what I mean? So,
You don't see that anymore.
It's kind of going out.
Yeah, now everybody's doing the vinyl.
Yeah, premium vinyl blinds.
Exactly.
Which I love because you can mop it, clean it. And I've got 5 dogs, so it's
some of it's
always
scratch free.
easier.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's scratch free. So, so there's a lot of things, you know what I mean, that can, you know what I mean, like I said, I like to put my input, you know, for customers that don't really know what they want to do. So I kind of, you know, try to point them in the right direction. So.
What are you seeing for trends today?
Well, me personally, what I like to do, you know what I mean, it's restrooms, you know what I mean. I think that there's a lot that you can do in restrooms, you know what I mean. You can play with a lot of...
That sounds like your niche.
Yes. And,
the bathtub.
Exactly, and a lot of people are transitioning, you know what I mean, bathtubs to showers now, and I'm not an interior designer.
But I love this picture, you know, with the bathtub, which is so popular now.
Oh, the soaking tubs?
The soaking tubs,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if anybody uses it, but it becomes a decor
Mm-hmm.
in the bathroom. And it is a nice touch.
Correct.
Yeah.
I see that in a lot of the model home parks, especially in the high-end stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very popular, I don't really know what I would call it an accessory, but because honestly, you either see separate tub shower or you just see shower only today.
The thing about it is that a lot of people, you know, they have these showers and then the tub's right next to it, and that tub's so enormous and it's taking up a whole bunch of space, and sometimes those jets don't even work and people don't even use those tubs. So they're like, you know, can I use this space for something else? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, a lot of them were built in with tiles, and the tub's kind of encapsulated in a tiled wood box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just a lot of wasted space, you know, for some people out there. So, there's a lot, you know what I mean, that, you know, can be done. And like I said, only people's visions, you know what I mean, can get fulfilled if they have an understanding, you know what I mean, of, you know, what.
Because that's the hard part. You guys sit down and listen.
Exactly.
Try to get inside their head to find out, to
Exactly.
get that same visual that they have of what they're looking for. I guess pictures, magazines, kind of give me. So then there's a good understanding of what they're
samples, and you know, I deal with storefronts, and you know, I mean, I kind of, you know, point them in that direction. Hey, if you're looking for this, and I go here, and
Like Ferguson or something like that.
How do you handle the
Del
paint?
Tao.
Because I noticed you go to Williams Sherman. and
Sherwin-Williams.
paint- Yeah, Sherwin-Williams. Yeah, because we're getting ready to paint our office. And I look at the paint and say, okay, I see it on the paper, but then when I go and you actually, I always recommend go to the paint store and have them paint it on something for you so you can actually see. Because sometimes the color's just slightly a little different.
Or when you paint it on the wall, you're going over a different color, so that hue might radiate slightly.
that's a
You know what I
good
mean?
point.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good
And like I
point.
said, you know, I mean, that's when you get into the different types of paints, you know, with eggshell and some paint machine in it, you know, I mean, just depending on what gloss you want. And obviously, you're right, you know, when you're going on a wall that's got a darker color, you know, I mean, obviously you need to do 2-3, you know, coats of
Coats,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
To kind of-
Would you prime it? Like if you were doing a cream in here, and this is a light gray, which is beautiful, but if you were going to do a cream, would you prime this first before you put
Well,
that cream on there?
either that or usually sometimes paint, you know, I mean, comes with primer already, so you know,
Okay.
you can actually.
So it depends on the paint.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
that's-
it just depends on what kind of quality paint you want.
Okay.
So,
So it sounds like you can do everything. You can do the bathroom, kitchen, full remodel, the floors, the insulation, the countertops, cabinets, power washing too. I love that because you do show on your card actually the cleanup work afterwards. Who does that? That shows, hey, we're going to power wash, you know, we're cleaning things up and
you know, exterior-wise, you know, obviously there's people sometimes that have, you know, some rotten outside on their siding and carpet.
Fascia, soffits, exactly. I see that gutters, a lot.
Gutters.
Yes.
gutters.
So,
Okay.
so there's a lot, like I said, you know, I mean, you just don't find out until you kind of go to a customer's home and they say, hey, I need to take care of this and whatnot. So that's
houses don't maintain themselves.
That's kind of what led me, you know, I mean, like I said, I started as a flooring guy, and then I was just like, you know, people question me about, hey, can you
I'm getting ready to cut down a bunch of trees at my house.
Are you not?
Oh, I'm going to have to do it when Richard's not there because he's my tree guy, and I'm like, these trees got to go. Our grass is not growing because of the trees in a certain area.
Clean them out? Like, will they clean up through the canopy to allow the sunlight to come through?
You can. It's just our trees have gotten on the side of our house, and in our backyard's not too bad, but have I just.
And that's a field, and that's not my field there.
That's where you start, right? You start thinking,
exactly.
You start there.
But you know, if you don't have somebody, I can always, you know what I mean?
I always tell my nephew I'm going to do this when he's not home, and he's like, I don't know if that's a good idea, Denise.
And the thing about it, Denise, is that now it's a great time, spring, you know, people want to freshen up their house and kind of, you know, I mean, give it a new look. And I you know, this time of the season also sometimes, you know what I mean? During the holidays like Thanksgiving and you know, Christmas, people want to kind of have family over and they want to do a few things to their homes, and it's always a good time, like I said, you know what I mean. But you know, I just find that around this time people kind
of. But I like that you're a one-stop shop that can really help that customer with, like you're saying, if it's AC or it's trees or whatever it is, along with what your special, right? What you really do, which is painting, sheetrock, wood floors, bathrooms, kitchens. You can help them with that as well, with giving them a good referral that they can count on. That's important. That's hard to find.
It is.
And the guys that work with me, you know, they started when I, you know, started, you know, the business. So exactly. So I don't have people that, you know, I just met, you know, coming in there and just kind of, you know, do something.
Right. You already have a history with them.
Exactly.
Right. That's great. How do they get a hold of you? And it's Estrada Elite Enterprises.
Enterprises, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, it's kind of like a company that I started as an LLC, and I incorporated it. I want to incorporate it, and then we're kind of doing remodeling, starting remodeling.
So you're more focused on
the remodeling,
exactly.
The remodeling, exactly.
Okay. And would they reach you at the Estrada Light Flooring at gmail.com?
Estrada Flooring at gmail.com, and they can also reach me at 832-338-6188. So it's an easy number to remember.
Okay.
Yeah, 832-338-6188. Yeah, that is easy to remember.
You walk in and out of houses like I do every day.
Absolutely.
So what's one of the strangest things that you had to go in and remodel and fix that stands out to you?
Well, sometimes, you know, people want to do certain things with their homes, like knock out walls, and you know, I mean, sometimes you got to get permits for that.
Oh, sure.
Type of stuff. And I really
don't like it's load bearing or something like
that.
Right.
Exactly. And I really, you know, I mean, don't like to get involved in that so much because, you know, it's a liability, you know.
Structural engineer needs to come in.
You got to have, you know, plans and whatnot. And like I said, not to say that I can't build a house, you know, I mean, with some blueprints, but like I said, I'd rather not, you know, I mean, now if you want to just kind of build out.
Building is one thing, but rehabbing and changing stuff, that's a total different thing.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, if you just want to kind of like, you know, maybe add a closet or, you know, I mean, a storage room or whatnot. Now, yes, we can do some framing for that where you don't have, you know, to pull a permit or whatnot. You know,
okay.
Or I thought about, like, in our bathroom, we have the bathtub, which is the bathtub and shower, right? With the shower
tub shower,
kind of
tub shower combo,
right? Way of doing it. But right next to it's our pantry, and we chose to do a pantry when we built the house for sheets and towels and things like a linen closet. But you could actually convert that to a shower. We made sure they left all the plumbing where if you wanted to, you could convert that, so you could have the bathtub
and I've had it where
you could do something like
where
that.
there's an enclosure, you know, and there's a wasted space and whatnot, and somebody wants to kind of build a closet out of that wasted space, you know, just depending on where how the framing or beams or studs are.
Okay.
You know, we could kind of work, you know, sometimes.
Are you still seeing like where people remove the tub and shower and they put the big walk-in shower with the overhead rain and the side sprayers?
Yes.
I don't know what to call it.
Yes. Well, you know, like I said,
the jets on the wall.
the jets. Yes, they're called jets. Anyhow, those projects can get a little tricky because there's a lot of plumbing involved, and that can, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, have some modifications done to some of your piping and whatnot. So, but anything's possible. You know what I mean? You know.
Right.
So it's not something that you know you can look at something like I said. I've been in homes that are not 1940s and. You know,
that's a total different way of building a home too.
Yes, absolutely.
Was it pier and beam?
Yes. So you know, it's out in Texas City, and you know, they wanted some restroom, you know, updates, and you know, got a little tricky, you know, what I mean, because you don't see some things behind the scenes, and you got termites back there, and now you know, it slows the job down.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, we're in Texas. It's not empty.
Exactly.
No, you're right.
Same thing with settling. You are going to have settling in Texas as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you run into these things, you know, that you don't see, you know what I mean, with just the naked eye, you know what I mean. So once you get into something, and that's why, you know, I kind of try to stay in communication with the customer and say, hey, you know, I mean, this is what we found, and I'm not just going to, you know, go and do something and cover it up and, you know, not
No.
That's good. Yeah, you're actually going to do it right.
Exactly.
Do it right.
Exactly.
I really appreciate that.
Exactly. So, you know, I mean, if it takes another day or a couple of days to get it done, you know, that's what we're going to have to do.
Then the customer appreciates that because we're doing it the right way.
Exactly.
We're not just.
And especially in this particular situation, because she was an older lady, and you know, she's been in the house, you know, for a long time. So
She didn't know.
Exactly. So I just decided to kind of address that and, you know, treat the problem and replace some beams and, you know.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Good.
That's really good. Yeah, you have a heart for the consumer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. And it's so hard to find it, especially in contractors.
Yes.
It's so hard to find.
It's very
Because everybody
tough.
wants to get in, do the work, and get out.
Yeah.
Because time is money.
Or if they have a bigger job, they'll leave that job hanging and they'll just go, you know what I mean? You know.
Right, do the other job.
Yeah, one of the problems that I experience, and I'm not saying Bernard does this, but they show up, they tear everything apart, they waltz off for 2 weeks, and then they show back up and act like they're doing you a favor after they've been dodging you for 2 weeks because they're working on the bigger job.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or they're handling it, like I said, and I think that's when you neglect, you know what I mean, the customer. And I'm always, you know what I mean, at the job site, I'm always, you know, taking it one job at a time. You know, every now and then I'll just kind of step away for maybe a few hours or whatnot. But like I said, I'm always, you know, making sure that things are getting done correctly.
That's great, yeah. And that you're on site, they can call you, you're available.
Absolutely.
That's great,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's, I mean, like building houses, there's a lot of moving parts. You have a lot of different laborers, and if you're not paying attention, hammer it till it fits, paint it till it looks good. I mean, that's their mentality, and that's sad. And you don't know until you open up that wall, like you were saying earlier. All of a sudden, you open up the wall, you're like, I can't even believe they covered this up.
Exactly.
So
yeah, there's, and like I said, I don't want to, you know, say, you know, bad things about anybody else, you know. But like I said, I've seen a lot of things in this industry, and you know, unfortunately, you know, some customers, you know, are pretty upset about some things, you know, that.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming in afterwards.
And then I'm not interested in fixing somebody else's mess, so I just got to redo it again and.
Start over.
Exactly.
Well, at some point, you just have to scrap what they've done.
Exactly.
And you just start at ground zero.
And I've had, you know, a lot of those situations, especially around the hurricane time, you know, I mean, where there was, you know, people just running around just trying to, you know, I mean,
they come from all over the country.
They're coming from Florida and Louisiana, different areas, to do the work.
Exactly.
Work with a local company, local contractor, somebody that's reputable.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, everybody's in a hurry, but in the same sentence, you want to know who you're doing business with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And at this point in time, you know, I'm grateful that, you know, I mean, I don't want to take nothing less than a 5-star, you know, I mean, rating, you know, I mean, I'm already.
And you earn those.
Exactly. So, yeah, like I said, if I have to, you know, do it again or whatever I need to do, you know, just to make it right when I walk out of the house, you know, I want to make sure that I don't get a call saying
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a guy that cares. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
That is passionate about his work, cares about his workmanship, loves working with his hands, his team loves working with their hands, and wants to take care of the consumer.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And you also get a pressure washing driveway starting. Of course, I'm sure you've got
Depending on the house size of driveway, you may have a long
mile long.
That's great. Mine that's a 1,500 square foot house that's on a 6,000 square foot lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, I have a motor court as part of my driveway, so I'm sure it's not $99.
Right.
No,
but it's good to know, starting out, you give some detail on it.
Absolutely,
and some beautiful work. And it's good to know that you do the pressure washing also, because everybody needs that.
We're in Houston, Texas. It's mold, mildew, just all the green stuff from the trees. It's just amazing how much stuff's...
And a lot of people, are also doing some things with like their patio, they want, the travertine out there, make it feel, nice out there, instead of just laying concrete. So that's also something, that people are kind of doing with their homes.
What type of tile do you use out there? Because I know there's different types of tile, but I'm not a...
Well, travertine, it's more like a stone,
Sure.
More like a stone kind of type of tile.
That's more porous.
Because if you're out there installing porcelain, obviously it's going to get slippery, especially in Houston having that humidity and waking up.
I'm getting that. Because mine are slippery. I have tile all through my house. There's no carpet. And when you mop the floors, I then dry it with a dry towel. And I've slipped many a times and fell. And
What's the difference between porcelain and ceramic, I guess is my question.
Well, porcelain has more like a layer, of like that, shine layer, and
so it's more polished.
Yes, more polished, and then more so the clay tile is more like the ceramic, where it's made out of clay, so clay.
Which is less slippery,
exactly,
and more friendly.
And a lot of this tile that's wood look tile, it's kind of more ceramic, and it's got the grooves in it, where it feels.
So you can guide people what to use where. And how to use the stuff that you're using.
Exactly.
That's huge, because the average consumer, I like that, and maybe they should or shouldn't put that there.
If you put porcelain on the walls, obviously you're not going to be walking on the walls. So.
Right.
Right. So like in the bathroom, that's great because it's shiny. It'll repel the water. It's easier to keep clean and probably repel mildew.
Exactly.
Okay. I wouldn't know that. To me, tile's tile, but I do know that there is different forms. I just have never really been.
It's just like a stone, like marble. It's a stone, and a lot of people kind of also do that, in their restroom walls, and it looks very nice, very fancy. And,
it is.
So I enjoy doing that.
Carrera marble is what I see. I believe is the name of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But marble, you have to be careful because that again is very porous, and if something spills on it, it can stain and it's not coming out. I've seen.
And you address
coffee,
and you address that. Obviously, obviously you want to,
But I wouldn't use marble for like the countertops in the kitchen, but maybe the backsplash. You know what I mean? Just as an accent.
Exactly.
So what would you use for the countertops for the? Because for a while everybody was doing granite.
Well, you know what? Quartz. I love quartz. Yes, you beat me too.
And it's easy to clean.
Yes.
It doesn't scratch, and it doesn't hold stains.
Yeah.
It's sealed. Because I have it at my house. I can tell you that if you have something citrusy, like a berry or lemon or something like that, you need to get that off right away, and that actually takes the sealer off.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to clean it and then reseal it because of that. But anything outside of that, it's pretty bulletproof in my opinion.
I'm impressed that Richard knows it all. Well, Richard, you've been doing this a long time, so
I'm old.
You've seen a lot of things, right?
He does have a good eye for the house when you go to homes, and he looks at things that I wouldn't see.
Exactly.
He's looking at. He knows.
And it's obviously about presentation, right?
It is. My job is to make the transaction as seamless as possible, so I try to mitigate any problems. and I'm not an inspector, I'm not an interior designer, but I understand what the general public gravitates towards.
Exactly.
And I've walked in and out of enough houses and gone over inspection report with inspectors. And again, I'm not a licensed inspector, but if I see something that looks odd, I point that out to the consumer and say, hey, we need to make note of this. And when we do the inspection, you need to go over this with them. Or, you know, if we're getting the house prepared, hey, this doesn't look right. We need to get a professional in here to address this.
Exactly. And you brought up a great point, you know, as far as inspectors, because inspectors go in there and they obviously are up in the attic and whatnot, and then there may be some beams up there that are not, you know, properly nailed or whatnot.
Sure.
So,
I've seen that.
Exactly. So that's
or rodents. I mean, pick something.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things, you know, that can go on with a house, especially if you're just living, you know, in the house and you don't go up, you know, in the attic all the time.
Working hard at it all the time.
Yeah. One of the things, typically when they see something with the rafters, people get the jitters. But in my experience, the inspector and the contractor's basically like, hey, we just need to bring a couple 2x4s up there and stab in a couple pieces of wood.
Yes.
It'll take me 20 or 30 minutes. It's not, because they always think structure, oh my gosh, the roof's going to collapse, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But in my experience, it's typically something that
It's just reinforcing, you know, sometimes, you know, some beams or whatnot, and you can always add a few things, you know.
Sure.
A few beams, you know, into the structure, your frame up there. So.
But if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Call a professional like Bernard.
Yes.
Have somebody come out that truly understands how construction support works.
Exactly. And you know, if it's not something that I can do, you know, I mean, I'll be up front and just say, you know, hey, this is not, you know, my
It's beyond my scope.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I do the same thing in my business. I mean, people call me, hey, I'm looking for this type of commercial building or whatever. You know, unfortunately, I don't specialize in that, but I have a couple resources that I'm happy to introduce you to.
Yeah.
So, it's,
Absolutely.
you know, to service them at the highest level, make them give them a good
That's
experience.
right. Yeah. And we all need your services.
Yes,
for
yes,
sure.
Denise. You're right.
Office and home. Yeah.
Oh,
And you know, now there's a lot of people, you know, I mean, that are, you know, kind of in their older, you know, days, and they don't want to be on top of the ladder. They don't want to do certain things, and so, you know.
Or they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe they do, and they shouldn't be. Yeah.
What is that, the baby
like
boomers?
Denise.
Yeah.
Is that the
Well,
baby
Denise
boomers?
got on a chair and broke her arm a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Broke my wrist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so accidents like that are not worth it sometimes. You
Exactly.
know, just spend a little money and
Exactly.
somebody come
Oh
back.
yeah, because that was an expensive fall.
Yes.
Oh yeah, about $200,000.
How much?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Because I had 2 surgeries.
And what were you doing again?
Got up on I got up on a chair. Well, first I got up on the desk, and then because we have shelves above the desk, and I had a big box up there, and it was a Saturday afternoon. I think I was waiting for a customer, and I thought, I'll do a little bit of cleanup, and was going to empty this box out, and I didn't realize how heavy it was. It was full of folders, brochures.
Oh wow.
And when I picked it up, I realized how heavy it was and how full.
It's too late.
And it was too late. And I lost control of my balance in the
Your balance,
box.
yes.
The box went flying off, and I was still trying to catch my balance, but couldn't. Ended up hitting the printer and the wall.
And those reinforcers
bouncing
weren't
back.
there, you know.
Exactly. You know, the floors, you don't have strong padding,
Yes.
so based
No.
on concrete.
Yes.
So yeah, so it just snapped. Yeah, yeah. And
Well.
but I had a phenomenal orthopedic surgeon. So if you need an orthopedic surgeon, you break your wrist, elbow, I got hand, I got it.
Well, yeah, you could never tell. And I remember you
And I
going
can
through it. It was like a
remember
year
that.
or so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I went through one surgery, and then because I broke both sides.
Ooh.
So yeah, we don't want to do that. And that's another thing with slippery tile floors. Be
Yes.
careful. Yes.
Reach out to
I've done
Bernard,
that a
let him
couple
guide
times,
you
too.
through the process of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Well, and at that, you know, I mean, I can at least point you in the right direction, you know, I mean, or give you some suggestions.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, if they want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Just give me a call, send me a text, you know, I mean, 832-338-6188.
Is that your personal cell phone?
Yes, it is. It's actually the business phone. It's a personal cell phone. So if I don't get back to you, if I don't answer it, I'll call you right back. Or, you know, I mean,
Yeah, get back to
Okay.
the reasonable amount of time if
Exactly.
you're with the customer now.
Exactly.
And
That
that's,
speaks volumes. He's given his personal cell phone for you to call.
yeah. And it's 832-338-6188. And it's Bernard.
Bernard Estrada.
Estrada.
Yes.
At Estrada Elite Remodeling Enterprises.
Just remember Frank Poncherelli on chips.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I remember when those episodes were new.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We'll show our.
Now it's reruns,
Yeah.
if they even play it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I watched that, and so maybe they were not, fresh episodes, but I was watching it.
Yeah. Estrada Light Flooring at Gmail.
Estrada Elite.
Estrada Elite. Elite. Estrada Elite. Yes, okay. Yep, I see the ELITE flooring at gmail.com. Estrada Elite flooring at gmail.com.
That's correct.
Okay.
Give Bernard a call. Let him help guide you through your remodeling stuff, and he'd love to help work with you.
And thank you, Denise, and thank you, Richard, for hosting me.
Thank you, Richard.
It was a
This is all
pleasure.
Richard,
It was a
so
pleasure.
you
So,
too, yeah.
and thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll see you
Happy
guys
Friday,
next
everybody.
week. Thanks, guys.
Have a
Good
good
one.
weekend.
Take care.
That's a
Call
great car.
us.
I'll put this in my car. I'll put this in my office.